Alrighty, so I left the bike idling for about 5 minutes. Still no signs of leakage, but we're really not going to know until we put the bike under load. The fact that it's running at all, well, I see that as a good sign, to be honest. Now, I've literally got half an hour before I have to be home again. But we can take the bike for a... Okay, it's not lugging. Feels good so far. Coming up the driveway is always a bit of a test. It feels good so far. That was me slipping gears, nothing to do with the bike. So it feels like it pulled okay. I won't really be able to load it up here. And it's poor form to go revving it up past the primary school. It's still feeling smooth. I was worried that it might be coughing and spluttering. But I think sometimes starting slow is a really good idea. I'm happy to report that the bike still feels pretty good. It's not surging or running rough. And it feels just as smooth as you'd expect a CB125F to run. I was worried that there was going to be like coughing and surging and rough running, but first impressions are that it's just like I bought one. But I really can't load it up until I get out of town. I want to say it feels a little bit stronger on the pull, but it is really hard to tell, you know, seat of the pants. The economy light appears to be staying on longer, funnily enough. So in theory, delivering more fuel to the engine will mean that my economy drops. But it is such a small increase in capacity in terms of what you can get in a fuel injector that I don't think it's going to make a massive difference. And by no means does the bike feel massively transformed. It feels like I didn't change a thing, which I can say to you is a really good thing. You know what? It feels a little bit torquier when I get to the end of this road. I'll do a third gear pull. Yeah, it's definitely got some more torque there. It's that sort of instant moment of like you can feel it pulling on you a little bit. Feels really good actually. I can't say whether or not that's accelerating any harder, but I suppose I can compare the footage from my earlier ride today, because I pulled off in the exact same manner, third gear pull. No, it feels really smooth. It doesn't feel like there's anything going wrong, and I feel like if there was any fuel spitting out the top of the injector, we'd know straight away. The big question is, and the reason why I changed it in the first place, was how's the bike going to perform at wide open throttle, like sustained wide open throttle? And as I said on my last ride, it is really easy to get the bike up to 80 Ks. But it's always a question of how does it perform when you need to go faster. There's our 100 Ks an hour, so we're not getting any worse performance, that's for sure. So remembering that it isn't speed that I wanted, it was torque, it was the ability to maintain these sort of speeds, and the bike isn't noticeably behaving any better or worse, but I am happy with how it feels. If anything, it doesn't feel as buzzy. Definitely still struggling on the hills, which is, I wasn't expecting a massive difference, but I was expecting a little bit better on the hills maybe. But it's a 125 is, when it comes to hills, there's really nothing you can do about it. Alright, let's hunker right down and see if we can get an improvement. Not really. I want to say that the biggest difference feels like it is in low-end torque. And I can't demonstrate that right now, because I've got a slow car ahead of me. There is definitely an improvement in the mid-range. I can feel it. So the bike feels really good, even at slow speed. Sometimes running problems get masked by open throttle. But this feels really smooth, really good right across the rev range. Now, I did all this road in third gear earlier this morning, and this time around I'm going to leave it in fifth because I want to feel the response of the bike under load around some of these corners. I mean, seriously, changing gears on this bike is optional. Oh, there's a nice car. Changing gears on this bike is optional. You can get into fifth gear at 40 k's an hour and ride around from that all the way up to 100. Like, it is really forgiving. This bike's never going to be a torque monster, but even in fifth, it's still pulling me up this hill. I mean, we're obviously slowed down by the vehicle in front, so it's really hard to really go as fast as I did before when I had the road to myself. I think this guy's just being a cunt. There's no need to be doing 45. It's so uneven on that corner, it's bullshit. You know what? It really feels good in fifth gear. Like, there is so much more pulling power from a lower speed, whereas previously you'd be up and down, you know, third through fifth through fourth through third, trying to get every last bit of acceleration out of it. But Fifth gear feels really good. It just feels really, really smooth, and that's all you really wanted, isn't it? There's just no way to change the nature of a 125 at the top end, but this really does feel better in the mid-range now. I don't have the time to do some twisties, but I tell you what, I can't wait. Alright, let's do a big pull onto the freeway. Okay, I got this guy coming down on the right, I think. Clear. Car coming up. Let me in, let me in. Thank you very much. Quite blustery at the moment. Even so, we've just hit 110. Slight downhill helps, of course, but that is the speed limit along here. Is that a radar? Speed camera? It sure is. I'm really happy with how the bike's performing with the new fuel injector. Time will tell, you know, different days, different riding conditions. But lately the bike's been really happy maintaining this 100 kilometers an hour. Until we get to a hill, but that's no biggie. I want to say it feels less fuzzy, but that, I've only ridden it once since I did the valve adjustment, so that could just as easily be the valves being adjusted properly. But I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with the way this bike is performing. For a little 10 horsepower 125, it really is impressive for what it actually does when you consider that it's only one little piston bouncing up and down. It really does. It's got a lot more bite, like. It's that instant sort of, that pull. That's where you notice it. Ready? It just wants to get up and go a lot sooner. Yeah, this bike feels amazing. I couldn't be happier with it right now. Oh, dear. Right. This bike has fallen over on this angle before, so... Alright, that's fine. We are not seeing evidence of any wetness or moisture. I know the GoPro won't see, but take my word for it. If there was any fuel spitting out of the injector port, you would smell it. This engine is boiling hot. I'm technically running late, so this will be a quick sign off, but upgrading the 90cc stock injector to 120cc injector, first impressions, you should absolutely do this job. The bike is smooth as silk. There's definitely more torque in the mid-range. Really, it's hard to tell if it really helps at the top end, but I want to believe it does. But you should not attempt this job unless you're very confident in your mechanics skills. You need to be able to make a decision that you trust as to whether or not it fits and it goes in. To be honest, it's the first time I've ever changed a fuel injector in anything, and it appears to have worked out really well for me. And yeah, that's it from me. We'll see you in the next one. Oh, dear.